subscribe and click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live here in the future. Let's shift gears here, Emilio. We got time, I think. Let's shift gears and let's talk about.
Get over here! Belt to ass. BTA. Know what I'm saying?
Love it. This Giants game coming up as we got the injury report officially out. Let's see if we can get this thing zoomed in a little bit so my old ass can read it to you all. Perfect. All right, here we go. So let's just stick with the designations. There's a bunch of these players that are on the injury report that do not have a game status. That means they're good to go. Okay, so the only ones we really need to know about already ruled out is Nate Hobbs. Okay, no surprise there with the MCL. He's not going to play on Sunday. Then you've got 3 that are questionable. Matthew Golden questionable. You've got Lucas Van Ness questionable and Savion Williams questionable. Here's how I would approach this if it were me, Emilio. If LVN is not 100% and that foot's still a little something there, sit his ass down, and then you decide between Matthew Golden and Savion which one's healthier, right? That's how I would approach this. Maybe they'll both be out there. I hope they are for Jordan Love's sake, right? As Cody McDougal says, Pookie. Chris the casual into Pookie is love, 10 VE. So how do you feel about those 4 players? Obviously, Hobbs is out. Let's just keep it to the 3. Let's start with LVN. How aggressive would you be with LVN going up against the Giants and Jameis Winston this week, man?
If it doesn't feel right, even 1%, I mean, sit him. I think that was kind of the way Micah was talking in his interview. You know, he wants him to be mentally ready to go, and he wants him to be physically 100% and beyond that because he knows what he can be. He knows that he was saying they got different packages that they're ready to implement when LVN gets back, but we're not going to do that until he's 100%. And I just love that, Parsons really kind of taking him under his wing or been just his running mate now that he's really kind of, trying to get LVN lifted up. And I remember beginning of this season or the offseason, everybody was ready to ship LVN off and out and get rid of him. And everybody, they didn't want him. They were like, hey, it's a waste of a pick. He took him 13th, hasn't done anything, 3rd season, And we're here now almost relying on him. It seems like we've had a little, you had a dip there and when he went out and you miss him. But I would say if there's any bit for him, he needs to sit out and one or the other. I think you're probably right. Whoever feels better, or honestly sit both the wide receivers too. If they're not ready, then fine. We're going to have to make do with what we got because it's always the next man up mentality no matter what.
Yeah. Jen Wright asked a great question. Snap count for LVN if he's healthy. So if he's 100% and he's out there, snap count. Barron Sorrell's been playing pretty good football, right?
Yeah.
I would like to
he's been out there a lot too.
That's true. What do you think about 10 snaps just to get him kind of work back into things? Do you think that's too little? If he's 100%, or would you like to see him take all the cheetah package snap? Because that's his bread and butter. And Jeff Hafley did talk in his presser. He said once LVN's back on the field, we can use cheetah package to stop the run too. So it's not just going to be a pass down set. Now, listen, he may have been blowing a little smoke to other teams too, like getting them to think, okay, they're going to play cheetah even in run situations. Yeah. But he did say what he's essentially saying is LVN is stout enough at the point of attack that you could put him in as the cheetah in cheetah pack. And cheetah package, guys, is just 3 pass rushers, 1 defensive tackle, right? Mm-hmm. And he's essentially saying LVN stout enough to help against the run there. What do you think about the snap count? And we'll see what everybody else says in the chat here too.
Yeah, I was thinking around 10-ish. But even still, dude, it being a foot, you're going to have to be pressing off of that. There's a lot of power that he's going to be driving off of. If it's, the balls of his feet, whatever it is, you get on his heels, he gets pushed back, or you only bringing him in on pass downs. I would say 10 max 15. But again, I don't want any weird feeling in that foot. If it feels wrong on that turf, sit him. There's no point. MetLife isn't, known for the best going on over there. So let's not try to push anything.
Right. Let's see what the chat says here. Reef says 15 to 25. Okay, so it's pretty good, healthy little chunk, right? Yep. Jay Cole says 15. So there we got a common number now. Jen Wright said 10. So somewhere between 10 to 15, it sounds like, or 10 to 25. That nice even number is probably 15 snaps, right? So interesting stuff there. So yeah, that's again, we'll see how it all unfolds. Yeah, Biz says the same thing, 10 to 15. We'll see what they decide to do. 2-0 for this 15 snaps or 1 sack and see how he's feeling. I like that, man. Yeah, 15 snaps, or if in a second snap he gets a sack, get his ass out of there. Good game.
Good job.
Good to go, man. There you go. Keep that pressure percentage up. I see what you did there, 2-0 for this. You want me to highlight that next week on NFL Pro, don't you? So I like it, man. All right, moving along. Matthew Golden and Savion Williams, same thing. If they're not healthy, don't put them out there, right? But with Matthew Golden, I think that could be a big, big difference maker here against the Giants. The Giants have a decent pass rush. Their run defense is worst in the league. They're 25th in points per play allowed, which is your defensive scoring metric. And then on offense, they're 25th in points per play. So the Packers are currently 17th in points per play, but they're 5th in points per play allowed. This is an opportunity this week to get that points per play ramp back up after that horrible showing there, just scoring 3 points against the Eagles. So Matthew Golden, I think, could play a big role there. When you talk about the other receivers, Emilio, you're obviously Dontavion Wicks is back in the fold. He's going to take some snaps, right? So if Matthew Golden's good to go, sit Savion down. You got a good enough rotation in Wicks and some of these other guys. However, if Matthew Golden isn't good to go, you might want to try to get Savion out there just to get some meaningful reps, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely. And also because of how big of a part Savion plays in special teams. I mean, he's out there for all the kick returns. He's out there on, a lot of those kind of reps as well. So who's going to take those spots? Is Bo going to be running wide receiver as well and playing, punt team and all that? So all those things you need to take into consideration. I would love to have Matthew Golden back. I want him to have a breakout game. He needs to have his first touchdown. All these things need to happen. And I don't want Matt to take his foot off the throttle when we get in there. You go up 10 points in the first, you get another touchdown in the second, third, I want 3 more touchdowns, fourth, I want 2 more. I mean, we need to kind of boost some stats here. That's what I want it to be, one of them college games, Clay. You got to get everybody – you got to get those Heisman numbers up, right? We need one of those games. Just get everybody feeling good and just start putting points on the board.
Listen, buddy, you got to get everybody involved, because after that game, you're going to see that meter pop up and it says risk of transfer playing time. You're hurt.
Absolutely.
Right? Keep everybody happy, man. Jen Wright said, I wonder if that's why Melton is in the wide receiver room this week. Probably they kind of seen, okay, we need to get him back on the joke. We need to get him re-ramped up, right?
Yeah, get actual passes from Jordan instead of trying to cover the wide receivers on passes. He can actually cut timing back, but it's huge that he's had 3 previous years of wide receiver work, so he knows the baseline. He knows everything in the offense. You saw him go out there and just run routes, no problem. So I think he's a key player to have. And we're over here. I mean, we got our own Travis Hunter.
Right. Exactly. Sixish says, oh, that's why Jacobs is projected so high in fantasy. Yeah, because their run defense is really, really bad. Now, keep in mind that Caleb Williams got a lot of rushing yards, I'm pretty sure, in that last game. There were several times he scrambled down the sideline that I remember as we were doing our live watch party. So that probably inflated them a little bit. But, yeah, their run defense is dead last. I think it was either 5.5 or 6.5 yards per carry they're averaging, giving up. I mean, it's been abysmal. I remember those days in Green Bay when our run defense was that bad. So,
but if we can get off the ball, you know how much of a mental boost that'll be for our O-line. Get them going downhill, opening up some holes. I think just having that tape to go off of, this is what we can build from.
Yeah, just a little momentum, man.
Yes.
For sure. Cody McDougal goes back to Van Ness, says Van Ness has to be coming back soon, or do you think that's that's a sneaky move, having him fresh late to take the load off of Gary? That's really interesting there. They've been very vocal, Cody, that the foot injury was worse than it's like it's healed slower than they expected.
Right.
So I would chalk it up to that, although obviously I'm not in the building. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's more about how that injury has just struggled to heal, if that makes sense.
I do think we keep him fresh, though, with that rotation. I think that's part of the bit and key the whole time. You have a long season. You got to keep everybody fresh, because then you can actually run the horses when you get into the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely. Let's shift gears over to the Giants side here. Let's talk about the ones that are just game statuses. Let's start with the outs, okay? So Jackson Dart is officially out in concussion protocol. That's his 2nd concussion of the year. And, when I see that, obviously, Jackson Dart been a fun player to watch this year. We did the watch party for the Chicago Giants game, and they ran a lot of QB power the same way that Daboll ran Josh Allen on QB power when he was the OC in Buffalo, right? So when you take that into consideration, are they going to be running QB power with Jameis Winston? Probably not. Now, you can look at that and go, thank God we don't have to worry about that. As Lee Corso would say, not so fast, my friend. That's what we're calling an unscouted look now. right? Every time they ran QB power, you got to ask yourself now when you're watching the tape, the 4-game saturation, last 2 head-to-heads, what are they going to do in place of that? You're kind of in the dark a little bit. So that's what we call an unscouted look. You got to be aware of that, right? But nonetheless, Jackson Dart will not be playing. Chauncey Golston, linebacker, he is out. And you got Evan Neal, the offensive lineman with a hammy. He's out. You've also got Darius Slayton, wide receiver, is out. That's a hammy too. Kayvon Thibodeau with the shoulder is out. It's one of their pass rushers, right? A young pass rusher, was, I think, a top 5, top 10 pick. Whether he's lived up to it, I'm not 100% sure. We'll get into some of the preview here in a second if we have time. And then questionable, you've got Bobby Okereke, if I'm saying that right. Mm-hmm. And then you've got Paulson Adebo, DB. He's questionable. And then doubtful, you've got Tyler Nubin and Raheem Nunez Roches as doubtful. So they're pretty darn banged up, Emilio. I think it's sitting at a 7-point spread right now, but Packers should be able to go out there and take care of business. I know any given Sunday, but I feel as good about this game as any game we've played before this year.
No, nothing else you can say about the game, really, honestly. I think the Packers know it. We know it. Everybody knows it. Media knows it. The people that don't like the Packers, who are Packers fans, know it. The people who like the Packers and aren't Packers fans know it. We got to win this game. It's just got to happen. So you just got to show up, go out there and play.
Yeah. So let's take a look at the PFF preview real quick, and we'll kind of give you guys the early line information, all that good stuff. I like doing this every week. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. It just gives you kind of a first look, global perspective on how these teams kind of match up. And I like to focus on the money, obviously. There's a lot that goes into that. Let's see if we can get this to where it's maybe zoomed in. Nah, it ain't going to work. I apologize, but the best I can do right there, Emilio. So the Packers are currently 7-point favorites. The PFF projection has it a little bit closer at 6.9 points. The money, 72% of the money in covering the spread is on the Packers, okay? And 64% of the bets of the slips are on the Packers to cover the spread. Money line, 92% of the money is on the Packers, 92% of the slips are on the Packers. So
you don't love that.
No, I don't, man. And listen, it doesn't mean the Packers are going to lose. I'm just saying anytime it's that far to one side, it tends to be a little closer than we expect. As Jen Wright goes, ugh, right? Yeah. Again, though, man, forget the numbers. You got to go out there and take care of business. You got to take care of business. Mm-hmm. When you look at the rankings, power ranking overall, the Packers are 5th according to PFF. The Giants are 28th. On defense, the Packers are 10th. Giants are 29th. Offense, the Packers are 6th. The Giants are 23rd. Strength of schedule played. They played the 20th toughest schedule the Packers have. The Giants have played the 2nd toughest schedule. Now, that's constantly evolving as you go through the year, obviously, right? So that would explain why their record's down. Maybe they're a little bit better team than the record indicates. You got to be aware of that.
Twice already.
Yeah, there you go, right? That's a perfect example of why it's a boost. And Chicago, they played Chicago, and here Chicago has actually got a really good record this year. Some people may not think Chicago is a good football team. Yeah, I don't know.
They played Washington already, too, and think they won. So, yeah, they've had a tough schedule.
Yeah. Average offensive snaps, they're averaging 70 snaps a game. The Packers 65. Percentage of run, we're at 41%. They're actually throwing the ball 61% of the time, 61.5%. So they're throwing the ball quite a bit more than we are. EPA per run, we're slightly better than them at EPA per run at minus 0.05. They're at minus 0.06. EPA per pass, however, we're at a positive 0.19. They're at a positive 0.04. Keep in mind, that was Jackson Dart. Little bit of Russell Wilson, and now it's going to be Jameis Winston. So maybe that number will go up, maybe it'll go down. When you look at the QB comparison, they don't even have a grade for Winston this year. Love is sitting at a 79.4. Passer rating when clean, 126, 45.9 with pressure on him. Big time throw percentage of 4.42%. Turnover worthy play, 2.9%, and a power rating of 4.5. Putting his power rating ranked 7th. It looks like Jameis Winston's power rating rank is sitting at 29 for what it's worth.
Hey, I mean, we just got to, like we said, we got to go out there and just make it happen this game. And maybe you lean on the run a little bit more. Maybe we get those numbers up, get that percentage going. I'd love to get Emmanuel going. I want Josh to get going, and he will. But let's try to get a little two-headed monster, get the ball moving north and south. And then, you can start stretching it out. Get Jordan to turn his back once in a while, throw some play action. Matt needs to kind of go through the playbook this week and kind of hammer out what he feels comfortable with on this team. I want them to kind of work the whole thing. Under center, pistol, whatever you want to do, shotgun. Just get a few groups that you really like, and let's start building off of that if you need to kind of adjust that offense. But right now, being 5th and then 28th overall, with everything that they've had going on, injuries-wise, all the stuff, coaching change, and there's just so much going on for them. We really can't we can't beat ourselves this one.
Yeah, completely agree, man. We've already kind of hit the injuries. If we look at their schedule real quick here, this is who they played, right? They lost to the Commanders on the road. They so the result is in the middle column. I always screw this up. Yeah. They lost to the Commanders on the road. They lost to the Cowboys on the road. They lost to the Chiefs on the road. They beat the Chargers at home. They lost to the Chiefs at home.
Yeah.
They beat the Chargers at home. That's a really strange win right there. That's actually kind of impressive. Chargers been playing pretty good football. On the road, they lost to the Saints. That's a horrible loss there. They beat the Eagles 34-17 at home. Let's hope we don't get those Giants, Emilio, right?
No, absolutely.
Yeah. And then you got on the road, they lost the last 4 on the road, Denver 33-32. That was a close ball game against a good football team, right? They lost to the Eagles on the road 38-20. So we played the Eagles much closer in that game than they did. San Francisco, they lost to at home 34-24. And of course, they lost to the Bears on the road in that snowy Soldier Field 24-20. So going to be interesting. Again, we're 7-point favorites. They got the Lions next week. That should be a slam dunk win for the Lions if they continue to play at the level they're playing. So, so I think that is a pretty tough schedule, Emilio. I really do.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a pretty rough. I forgot they played the Broncos. They're doing great. Chargers are doing good. Chiefs are, above 500, and then you still have the Lions. Us.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. They've got a battle going up. They got to go against Drake May and the Patriots.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So we look at the Packers schedule here, right? Starting in week 1, you beat the Lions at home. You beat the Commanders at home, right? Mm-hmm. Then you lost on the road to the Browns 13-10. You tied the Cowboys. Then you beat the Bengals 27-18, right? You beat the Cardinals on the road 27-23. You beat the Steelers on the road 35-25. And then, of course, you lost to the Panthers 16-13. You lost to the Eagles 10-7. Again, those are those 3 losses. They combined at 9 points. It's just absolutely wild, man. Yeah. Absolutely wild. So now you're on the road against the Giants. Then you're back home against the Vikings. That's going to be a fun game right there. On the road against the Lions.
Short week after that Vikings game, too. 4 days.
Thanksgiving, too. Lord have mercy. Going into Detroit. They did not do us any favors with that. Chicago back at home on December 7th. On the road, probably cold weather game there against the Denver Broncos on the 14th. Yep, damn good team. On the road in Chicago on the 20th. And then you got Baltimore back home on the 27th, and then back on the road to end the season against the Vikings. I love that we're ending the season on the road, Minnesota, against the Vikings. I like my chances there. I actually like our chances against the Vikings better than I do the Bears, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Like we said before, that is a rough schedule for us to finish out the year. This is where the meat and potatoes come in. I mean, this is that, you write the paper for school, Clay. You get the toppings for for the top of the burger and the meat.
Mm-hmm.
We are in the thick of it right now.
And again, if we can lose 2 games here, right? If we can afford to lose 2 games, and you correct me if I'm wrong here, I don't want to misspeak. Our record right now is what? 5-3-1. 5-3-1. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more games, right? So if you win out, you got 13 games. If you drop 2 of these games, right, I think you got a good shot at beating the Giants on the road. I think you got a good shot at beating the Vikings at home. Lions game is going to be tough. Short turnaround on Thanksgiving. It's going to suck. It's going to ruin Turkey Day, but it is what it is. If you lose that game, you beat the Bears, you lose on the road to Denver, which keep in mind the Giants almost beat Denver, right?
Yeah.
Or did they beat Denver?
No, they lost to them.
Okay, but it was
at one point. That was when Denver came back and scored like 30, right? Or 30.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Denver's last game, I'm pretty sure they only scored 10 points, just like the Eagles did against us.
Yes, against the Raiders. Remember we were talking about how rough of a Thursday night game it was, and then we rolled around to Monday night, same exact game. Yeah,
we turn around, crap the bed too, right? So if I had to pick 2 that I go, those are the 2 you probably afford to lose. on the road against the Lions, on the road in Denver, right? Other than that, then you got to come back and beat the Bears on the road. You got to beat the Ravens at home, and you got to beat the Vikings on the road. I think that's doable.
My picks would have been the Lions and then the Ravens, actually, because I think that we have a shot against Denver. I really do. I think that Lamar and the Ravens playing for their season at the end of the year would be a different story, because they've already got behind the 8 ball when they went 0-5 or whatever it was to start the year.
That's a great point. I wonder. Let me just take a quick glance at those. So Baltimore sitting at 4-5. You know what's going to play a huge role in that? How the Ravens do up to that point. If they've got a losing record and they're out of the playoffs,
for sure. Absolutely.
Might be different. But like you said, if they turn it around, they're only a game back behind Pittsburgh right now. So if they're neck and neck with Pittsburgh, you're going to get the best Baltimore Ravens team. There's no doubt about it. And you also start to look at some of these scenarios where a little later in the year, like the Broncos are sitting at 8-2 right now, right? If you get to that game, and let's say that the Broncos by that point are 9-2, 10-2, 11-2, 12-2, and they're a little banged up, maybe they'll be a little conservative with the injury report because, hey, look, we're in a good spot. Maybe
it's an AFC NFC opponent matchup. All right, fine. I'll drop the one to the out of conference guy, because we lost out of conference with the Browns, out of conference in conference with Carolina and the Eagles. So if we could lose some, I would be fine if it was Broncos and Ravens. Right, but I'm hoping for only one loss in this stretch, and it starts this Sunday with the Giants. We got to get a dub.
Yeah, there you go. So again, just taking a quick look at the Giants ahead of time, our schedule, their schedule, just kind of compare strength of schedule. So we'll dive into the game plan tomorrow. I got to put it together. I hope I have time. You guys have been very vocal about this. When you play Monday Night Football, man, I can only imagine what the coaches and players feel like, because I'm scrambling to try to get everything put together for the content that week. The long weeks are absolutely awesome. But as 2-0 for this says, we can win out if we don't lose to ourselves. That's a fact, 2-0 for this. That's a fact. Because those three, the Lions game is a dub. Clay, let's go, Jay. I need that in my life, man. That turkey going to taste a lot better. By the way, cranberry sauce out of the can, just like the Trailer Park Days. Got to have it out of the can, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, got to have it. He said, imagine winning the Thanksgiving game. We did it last time in Detroit.
With that turkey leg?
Yeah. That was the John Madden patch. Remember that? They had on the jersey. Rashawn Gary went absolutely off on the lines. I think he had 2.5 sacks. Jordan Love cut him up. Let's go, man. Let's go. Let's get it done. So that would be an awesome, awesome Thanksgiving for sure. So with that being said, if you guys are watching this video back later, let us know in the comments what you think about how we match up against the Giants. Obviously, any game can be a trap game. I don't think they're going to sneak up on the Packers. I don't think it's going to be something, we overlooked them. We're just not playing our best ball right now. And you, like Emilio said, you got to go out there and you got to put it together, man. Take advantage of this defense that's beat down a little bit. Get your offense back on track. Let the defense do what they do. Jeff Hafley's going back to Jersey. That's where he's from. I think he said he's got 30 tickets for family members up there. So he's going to have every reason to want his defense to dominate. Just got to go in there and get that dub, man. So let us know in the comments what you think, and make sure you hit subscribe and click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live here in the future. Emilio, you got anything else you want to hit before we wrap up, bub?
No, I don't think so. I'm kind of excited to get into a little bit more of the numbers with the Giants there, but it's at this point we can look at all the numbers. Everybody knows what needs to happen. We're coming off a two game losing streak. The previous Super Bowl Packers have done this, lose 2 games in a row. And you got to come back and make a statement. Then you make a statement, it shuts everybody up. All the talk stops. All this noise in the background. That's why that's why I wouldn't even want to have any kind of social media if you're playing out there right now. I'm just trying to go out there, do my job, and make a paycheck. Did you hear Mike in his presser? He said, who was it? The guy that he was going back and forth there. He goes, anybody that wants to come out here and try my job, and you can take my salary, go out there and do it, man. Go ahead and see how well it is. There's so much more than just running out there and tackling somebody or running out there and getting a sack. So
I love what Hafley said there too, man, because you may have said it right there while I was reading the comments, but he was just like, if anybody thinks Micah Parsons doesn't play the run good, I'd love to sit down and watch film with you. I love that response. Yeah, you've lost your.
That's Hafley's response, and Micah's response was, "Hey, if you think you can do it better, go ahead and take my paycheck, take my helmet, take my cleats, go out there and show me you can do it better than me." Like that, because you can't, or else you would have been there. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I just love that. I love that kind of attitude. Like, all right, come on, do it. You know, I love it when people speak out of turn and they put a little extra value on themselves. I love going, okay, go ahead, hero, show me.
Yeah.
I'll just sit right here and watch. Let's see.
You know what they're gonna say, Clay?
I'm not going to. So quit asking.
Exactly right. Oh, we got breaking news, Emilio. Can you hit it for me? Give me Corey in the breaking news, sir, please.
Oh, hold on. Let me get the breaking news.
Receiver by 10 yards.
There you go, Corey. Shout out.
Receiver by 10 yards.
I love it. It's a little hybrid. United Bates with the breaking news. Breaking news. YouTube TV and Disney have reached a deal. Hallelujah.
Receiver by 10 yards.
Everybody can now cancel their 24-hour sling service for tomorrow. College football's back on, baby. I love it. So, thank you, Bates. Thank you for that info, sir. Absolutely awesome. Now, I know people are still – and listen, if you're still pissed at ESPN, if you're one of those people harboring that ill will, I completely understand because that was some crap that happened just now in the middle of college football. Exactly. They got hold of the wrong TV service. All right, we're out of here, guys. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Definitely 6 p.m. Central for PTA Live. We will get the game plan together for you guys and gals. I'm going to try to throw a little tape together, too. I'll tweet some videos out of the Giants tape, maybe a little bit of Packers tape, too. We may sneak in a little bit of that on X as well. So everybody have a wonderful fan right here. And again, thanks to everybody who's reached out the last few days, obviously with the sickness and everything, man. You guys are awesome. It's a really cool community we've created here. And shout out to Larry for the super chat. Thank you, buddy. Cody McDougal becoming a member here. Cody McDougal with the huge dono. Thank you so much, Cody. We don't take that lightly. And Mike Evering with the super chat as well. Thank you so much, super fan. We appreciate you, buddy. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Everybody have a wonderful evening. Wave to him like that creeper, Jacob. All right, bye.
Here we go.
We're out. Bye, guys.